Hello, adoption friends. It's Mary Beth Lyson here. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about self compassion because I think this is one of the most important, maybe the most important thing that adoptees and other people in the adoption constellation can practice for themselves to make their lives better. And it is also the hardest for nearly everyone. And that's especially true for me. So, first of all, what are we talking about when we talk about self compassion? Well, let's get really simple. This is just taking care of yourself, showing up for yourself, showing yourself kindness and care, especially when you're hurting. And for no reason, there's no justification or anything. It's just about being kind to yourself because you're hurting. We talk about it in a way like if you think about the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. With self compassion, it's kind of the reverse golden rule. It's do unto yourself as you would do unto others, right? There's all those things. We would never in a million years say half the stuff that comes into our head to anybody that we remotely cared about. Let's be honest, probably a lot of the things you say in your head, you wouldn't even say to an enemy, right? And yet we walk around with this head that's saying these kinds of things to us all the time. And that's totally and completely normal. Our brains have a negativity bias. We are biased toward, we overlearn and we overremember the negative. So we're kind of set up in a little bit of a way at a deficit to start with. That all made sense evolutionarily because it helped us remember things that could be really dangerous and kill us. Fast forward to us living now, it's really important for us as infants, as young children, that we learn the rules. We learn what our caregivers want from us. That's how we stay safe because, again, we could die, right? There's that aspect of if I don't think about what my parents, what my teachers, who other people want and how they want me to behave, they could stop caring for me. And that's the end. So it's totally and completely normal, especially for adoptees, to go, geez, I really want to get this right. So I'm going to criticize and push myself. And yet, there's been a ton of research that shows that this isn't the best way. And I think that's incredible, right? Sometimes you think like, and in fact, the research shows far more that people who are kinder to themselves are happier, they get more done, you don't become lazy, they're more generous, they're more caring. So you don't become, a self-absorbed narcissist either if you do this, right? Become happier. So I think it's really, really, really important. And when we talk about self-compassion, there's a couple ways that we do this. We can say the kind words to ourselves, just kind of the thing you might say to a friend. I'm sorry you're hurting. This is really hard. Ouch. Ow, I'm so disappointed. Oh, that hurts, right? And then you can do what I just did, which is gestures of self-compassion. Just an easy one is just putting your hand on your heart. Just say, there, I'm here. Kind of giving yourself a little bit of a hug, and just really feeling that for a second. Going, I need a pick-me-up today. I'm not feeling super great. Aw, coming into that place of care. And when we do those things, we show up differently. We come into it. We come into life differently. And I guess one of the things I want to say is, the other thing I'll say about that too is our nervous systems as adoptees and other people in the constellation is already either jacked up in fight or flight, or we move into shutdown. And when we go to that place that we're hard on ourselves and we don't care for ourselves, we amplify that. So here's what we want to do. We want to correct that, but it takes practice. It is a practice. It takes a long time. I kind of say this is my Everest, right? I take a few steps up, I fall right back down. Get up a few more, keep going on that path. It's hard. It's hard to remember because a lot of this got wired really, really early. Things that get wired earlier take longer to fix. Doesn't mean they can't be, just means it takes more practice. So all of us, I think about as adoptees, don't we want to feel safe and loved and accepted? Don't we want to feel like we're good enough and enough? Well, guess what? With self-compassion, you get that. You start giving it to yourself, right? So even if nobody else gives it to you, even if you have nobody else on the planet who cares about you, and we probably all have people who care about us, maybe lots of them who care about us. But even if we didn't, we can start with ourselves. We can show up and be that caring person for us. And that's empowering. It's something that you can actually do, right? You can't do anything about what happened in the past. We cannot change our past. I can't change the fact that I was adopted, but I can change how I relate to that. And self-compassion is one of the ways that you can do that in a really, really powerful way. And so that also, here's another thing about self-compassion I wanted to mention. Your brain does not differentiate between if I do this to me in a caring way or one of my friends or family members does it. It likes it all, right? It says that feels good, releases some oxytocin, all of those things. So you can be doing this for yourself. So I'd like you just to stay open to that as a possibility. One of the things that I particularly love doing is teaching self-compassion and working with self-compassion with people in the adoption constellation, because there's a lot of ways that I make it really specific to some of the things that happen there and that are hard. So maybe someday you'll join me for a class or come in for some coaching. So that's it for today. Just my little plug for self-compassion, and also to say it's not easy. It's something you keep doing it. That's why we call it a practice, right? So if you like this, leave me a comment, get in touch on my website, do all those fancy social media things people do. But for now, just know that I care about you. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to give myself a little hug on the heart, and I send that to you as well.